Today, I'm sitting down with the repricer BQool and specifically Samuel from BQool. Now, I've had Samuel on this channel many times before, and so I'm excited to bring him back on this channel. It's probably been over a year since we've done any kind of an updates for the BQool Repricer. And now I am someone that personally has the belief that there are so many repricers and software tools out there that it's up to you and what you feel is best for your business to choose. And so I have a bunch of demos on this YouTube channel. But BQool has been around for a very long time, really ever since I started almost. It feels like. I don't know when they started specifically, but they've been a repricer I've heard about since almost the very beginning. And they've been coming out with new features each and every month, each and every year. And so I want to make sure to bring them on the channel, and specifically Samuel, to discuss some of the new things that have come out with BQool. They have a new repricing plan for newer sellers. They have a new integration with SellerAmp, and they have so many other things that we're going to discuss in this interview. Now, if you're interested in checking out BQool, you can check out all of their plans, get a 30-day extended free trial with my link down below. It's at askjimmysmith.com/BQool. That's BQool. And ultimately, if you don't want to use the affiliate link, that's fine. You could just search for BQool, but you will have a 14-day free trial if you don't use the link. So ultimately, it's a great tool to check out. And hopefully this video sheds some light for you and helps you make the best decision possible for your business. So without further ado, let's get into the interview with Samuel from BQool. Hey, Samuel, thank you so much for joining me on my channel again today. It's been about a year since I've had you on the channel recently. And so I'm excited to just jump back in with you because we've got so many people in the audience that I'm a part of and the communities I'm a part of that utilize BQool. I just want to get some updates from you, hear about everything that's been going on over at BQool. So thanks for joining me.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, we're super happy to be here. And we have, quite a bit of updates. We have some new plans that we just released. We also have some new features as well. And we also have some, Q4 repricing tips that we want to share with all the viewers of this video today.
Yeah, really excited to get into it. I know one of the things that you recently had announced that I'm excited to talk about is actually the new starter plan that you have that actually allows users the ability to use your AI functionality. So I would love to hear a little bit more about that, because I think with repricers, sometimes new sellers have a barrier to entry where they can't afford a repricer yet. And so having a starter plan or something that's more affordable is great. And I know that you recently announced one, so I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. So our new starter plan, we have a new $25 AI starter plan. And what this plan provides is it gives you 50 AI listings. So it's designed for people who, just starting out, they don't have a large number of listings. And it also gives you instant repricing speeds as well, as fast as Amazon allows. And on top of that, we also have a profit calculator and then the bulk ROI settings as well. So you could, change a number of your listings all at once using the bulk ROI settings. Take advantage of our profit calculator. And it also integrates with SellerAmp if you're using that to source products and getting the cost from that and bringing it right into BQool and exporting your min and max from there as well. So it has almost all the features and it's great to start out. And then we really believe that a lot of new sellers, when you're starting out, the goal is to get more sales. And to get more sales, you can get the buy box. And then we offer 5 different AI rules in our starter plan that is designed for, people who are just starting, who are getting in. And then also people who don't have a large number of listings as well. Yeah, so that's what it's designed for. Yeah, we really believe that this is going to help a lot of sellers who aren't able to have access to that before, because now we have it at $25, which is affordable. It's less than 83 cents a day. So if you're spending more than 5 hours a month repricing, then this is a great plan for you. And you can test it out, right? You can see with the repricer, without the repricer, you can compare the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I know for, whenever you're trying to get launched on Amazon, you've got the desire to grow your sales and you're trying to keep up with repricing. It's difficult to do that manually. And so I remember I waited way too long to get a repricer, and having a starter plan like this is extremely helpful. I do want to ask about a couple of those features in the starter plan. One is, why is an AI plan even important, right? Why is that something that you care about? You have a lot of AI plans and you give the users some customization in that case, but why is AI important and why should sellers care?
The reason AI is important is because, let's say for rule-based rules, you're going to set the same amount. It's going to go by how you set it. So it would just maybe go down by a few cents or however you customize it yourself. So we have that for the rule-based rules, but AI is going to go by different amounts. So it's based on all the Amazon, how it behaves, the historic. And, we've been around for 12 years now. So we have a lot of data that we can take. Of course, we look at the most recent one. And then for the other modeling we have is for that specific ASIN. So how do the competitors, how are they behaving? So for one competitor, you might need to lower your price. For another competitor, you can raise your price. So or AI will help you determine that, and it'll give you an optimum price based on over 20 different factors. And we've been studying this topic for quite a bit of time, and our AI started about 3 years ago. So we have continued to make improvements to the AI, fine-tuning it based on our model. And so then we predict to either increase your price or lower your price based on all of those factors we get. And also depending what you want. Now, why do we have more than like one AI rule? Because some people, when they get the products in, their goal is to really profit from it. Let's say like I'm sourcing an item and I'm doing, let's say OA, and then there is a discount that is only available for like 1 or 2 weeks. And then this means that I have a competitive advantage sourcing that item. So I'm going to do my repricing a little bit different for that than let's say it's a replenishable item I can continue to purchase over and over again. There also might be an item that when I purchased it, I thought I'm going to get a great price for it. But once I sent it to Amazon, unfortunately, other people found out about it. And then they also send the product in. And then so now I could see the trend that the offer count is increasing and then the prices are going down. And until that specific situation, I would use another AI rule to try to sell that product out before the price goes even lower. I'm going to go more aggressive on the pricing. So that's why we have more than one AI rule because of the market conditions.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. It makes complete sense. Ultimately, within the AI plans, there's so many, choices, but you give the functionality for a reason, right? You tell people why this AI plan was created and how to use this AI plan, give people the ability, and we may talk about it more later with conditional formatting, to have the tool automatically switch between different AI repricing strategies when certain factors are hit. But before we get to some of the AI plans, I do want to talk about one other feature of the new starter plan that you have, which is the SellerAmp integration. Can you talk a little bit more about how that actually works and why that's so important for sellers that are using SellerAmp?
Yeah, for sure. Let me just quickly show you on my screen here so everyone can see how it works in our repricer. And then so the way it works here is, we have it under settings, and then all you have to do, you just go to your general settings here, and then you just have to turn it on here. And then once you turn it on, it's going to, if you have a SellerAmp license, then it would automatically connect with that SellerAmp license. And then inside SellerAmp, then you can export your listing. Like you can export your costs, also your min and max prices, and you could also pick a repricing rule as well. Yeah, that actually changes the workflow. Yeah, so previously, like the workflow is, you might go to the store, you find a product, let's say you scan it, then you take the product, you bring it home, let's say you send it into Amazon, and then once it gets into Amazon, then it pulls into your repricer, and then you will set your min and max prices for that in your repricing rule and also your ROI percentage. But a lot of times, like when you do that, you might not remember everything, or you have to look at a spreadsheet to remember what it is. And then so with the SellerAmp integration, like, you have it as a Chrome extension. You could use it on the phone. You could use it while you're outside. You can also, both on iPhone or if you use Android. And then you can just scan the product while you're in the store. And then you can see, how much did you buy it for? You put your costs in, and then you put your min and max that you want, because you're going to be checking Keepa while you're looking in the store to see whether or not it's worth your time to source. And then once you have that in SellerAmp, then you send it over to BQool, you export it over. Once you ship the product into Amazon, it would already start repricing for you based on what you already set before. So, it just saves a lot of time and it helps with the workflow.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, it's an awesome tool. SellerAmp's actually a tool that I've never really used a ton before. We have a lot of people, that follow the channel that do use SellerAmp, and I know that they've been excited about this integration. I think you announced it, a few months back at this point, probably around May or June of 2024. And so yeah, it's been a great thing to see people utilize it. Now, kind of back to the AI stuff, real quick. How do you recommend that sellers choose an AI plan on BQool? How is it that they should go about saying, I think there's seven, maybe a little more, a little less, but there's seven different AI plans. Which one do they decide to choose?
I think the best option for most sellers when you're starting out, maybe 80%, like you would pick, let's say the product that you got, like let's say it's a replenishable item, then you would just pick the AI equalizer. And then once you pick the AI equalizer, it gives you a balance between profit and sales. And then you can then, you put it there, you observe for a little while, and then based on how you're selling, the market conditions, you can decide whether or not you want to pick it more aggressive or less aggressive. And then so, on the screen here, like you would pick the AI equalizer first, and then from there, you could choose whether you want to, focus more on profits or focus more on sales. Yeah, so basically, we believe that there's maybe three buckets of product. Like let's say you have products that you need to sell quickly out, then we would go to the AI Sales Booster or the AI Sales Maximizer. And then there's other bucket, which is, just like your replenishable items, like items that you're using regularly, stable pricing, stable offer count. Like when you see that, then we would just put on the AI Win Equalizer. And then there's also products that you think you can get more profits out from, and then you want to slow down your sales, then we would pick, the AI match match profit. And that is for our AI 2.0 on $50 and above. And then if you're on an AI starter plan, then you could use the AI Win Profit Maximizer, which will behave similarly. The difference is that it would still go for the buy box and then immediately try to raise the price once it gets the buy box. Yeah, so just to start out, you start in, with the AI Win Equalizer, and then you can go either to, the more profitable AI Match Grow Profit, or the AI Win Profit Maximizer, or go to AI Win Sales Maximizer or AI Win Sales Booster. Yeah, depending on how the listing is behaving.
That makes sense. Yeah. So one of the things, I've played around with a lot of different repricers, and one of the ways that I like to utilize BQool was having a conditional, the different conditions that come up, right? So the sell-through rate conditions, the inventory age conditions, having the ability for the repricing options to switch. And I know for me, whenever I was playing around with that, I would see in the first 30 days, I wanted a higher profit. So I would do AI profit. And then after it was over 30 days of inventory age, it would automatically switch to AI equalizer. Then once it got over 60 days, then it'd be more of a sales booster, right? And so that's kind of how I elected to use it. And I think that that's great, because whenever you set up a software tool, a repricer, you want it to remove some of the thinking processes for you. And if you can get it thought out well up front and get it set up, then you can allow the tool to do what it's designed to do at that point. And so I do like seeing, the ability for people to have that control, and to also make it actually remove a lot of the thinking from their plate after they get it set up initially. And I'm sure you see a lot of customers that do things in that way, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like just to follow along what you're saying, like let me just share my screen to just show everybody where those conditions are. And then basically you're referring to here is called what we call conditional repricing. Based on the market conditions, you could already decide like how you want to behave. So for the inventory age, like what you're saying is like above the buy box strategy, where you, based on the inventory age of the product, you would make it more aggressive or less aggressive. On the left-hand side, we have the number of inventory age. So how long have your products been in there? So if it's over 181 days, that means the long-term storage costs are starting to incur. And so you could actually change the repricing rule to become a more aggressive one, and also the ROI percentage as well. You could actually reset your min price, and you could do that automatically. And then when you first get started, then you can focus more on profit. so that you can try to get more profits as well when you first started selling the product. And if it doesn't sell, then you would try to lower the price or pick it on a more aggressive repricing rule. Now, for the conditional repricing, we actually have quite a few different options for people, and there's also new ones we have. So there's inbound quantity that I want to talk about a little bit. A lot of times, when you have products and then you might send it into Amazon, and then the price might change, while you're sending it in. So you can actually set it up in a way where when you have the products that coming in, inbound quantity, if it's a certain number, then you can set it in a certain way. So for example, if you have inbound quantity of products coming in, you can make it more profit driven. So it's not going to go lower, because from Amazon, if your product is still getting shipped in, they would actually lower your prices to try to get, if you want to get sales, because the product hasn't become available for Amazon Prime yet. So we have the option where, when it's inbound, then you can put on a certain rule. And once it becomes available, which is available for Prime shipping, then you can set it at a higher min price, and also you can set it at a profit-driven rule. Yeah, and then so you can actually set it up in that way. And there's also other conditions in here, as you can see, like some of the new ones we have, like when the buy box is suppressed, what happens in that? And that's actually very common in Q4. Yeah, because like Amazon will check not only on Amazon, they also check off Amazon on the other platforms to see what they're selling the product for. And then, if your price is too high on Amazon, or if Amazon thinks, the buy box price is too high, they'll make it like suppressed. And so what do you do in those type of situations, right? So we can automate that as well in our conditional repricing.
Awesome. Yeah. So I guess how does the repricer typically act with the suppressed buy box? Do you have any, I guess a good short explanation on how that works with BQool, or is it different for each AI strategy or each rule-based strategy? How is it that it typically works?
The way that we deal with the suppressed buy box is inside our AI repricing, you can pick the option when the buy box is pressed. You can base it on either the FBA lowest price, and you could plus or minus a certain amount. And then, or you could go pick like FBM lowest price, or there's other options in there that you can pick. And then how it works is like when there's a suppressed buy box, there'll be no buy box. And then you go down and there'll be others. And when you click on others, usually it's going to go by the lowest price on the top, and it's going to show all the different sellers in there. And then so in that situation, that's why we have the FBA lowest price. And then you could decide whether you want to add to that, you want to be around the same as that. And so that's one option. The other option is using conditional repricing. And then we also have the option for a suppressed buy box that you could use for both FBM and FBA. And then there you could also do additional settings. So you could decide what happens when there's a suppressed buy box. You can decide whether you want to keep the price. You don't want to change the price. You want to add a certain amount and you could decide which repricing rule you want to use. So you could use a combination of these two. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, because with the suppressed buy boxes, there's always those. There's no hard and set rule to make sure that it gets unsuppressed without extremely dropping the price. And so making sure that the repricer that somebody elects to use, and in this case with BQool, is that it's got settings that you get to decide, which allows you to determine what you want to have to happen to your prices, right? And so that's good to see those options there. Ultimately, there are a lot of buy boxes that can get suppressed in Q4. Maybe Amazon falls off of a listing and now we've got a bunch of FBA sellers at a really high price, or maybe just something is selling at a high price. What recommendations do you have for repricing in Q4? We're kind of in the thick of it in 2024 right now. So if anybody's watching this in 2025, then you can save these notes for next year. But ultimately, what are some tips that you have for Q4 repricing?
I think for Q4 repricing, there's going to be a lot more demand than usual for a lot of different listings. And then it's going to be harder for you to ship your product in and check them in Q4, because after, let's say, December 5th to the 20th, if you send your products in, it's going to take a while before it checks into FBA. So you're going to be doing a lot more FBM as well. And then so what we recommend in Q4, if the product is selling really well, if there's a high demand for it, then we recommend you to put it more on a profit-focused AI rule. And then if you're on the starter plan, then that would be the AI Win Profit Maximizer. If you're on our other plans, like $50 and above plans, then we would recommend you to use like the AI Grow, AI Match. You match the buy box and then you go above the buy box. And then you could also set up your FBM for that. And so if you have listings that you shipped in for FBA and you don't want to compete with FBM, then you can inside your AI rules, you can pick for the buy box winner that you only want to compete against FBA sellers in Amazon. So then you can get a higher price if you are using FBA. For FBM, you could use all the similar rules that you have for FBA. Then you would go back to, whether this product, the offer count, you would go back to, whether this product is selling well or not. And then you can pick, again, you start with the AI equalizer. And then if the product is in high demand, you would move it to a more profit-focused rule. Yeah, so that would be our recommendation. So number one, like you would do more profit-focused rules. Number two, you would do more, if you're doing more FBM shipment, you want to set up your FBM rules as well. And then another recommendation that we can give you is also you can use conditional repricing based on inventory age for some seasonal items. So some seasonal items, you might only sell them during Christmas time. It might be like some Christmas books. It might be some ornaments. It might be items that are seasonal. And then as the products age, it would automatically change the pricing for those products. Yeah, so that will be our recommendation for seasonal items. You could use our conditional repricing using the inventory age condition.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so there's so many different options too, right? So we've got Q4, which you have some recommendations here for how to do repricing in Q4. We've talked about a lot of the different AI options. How do you recommend, as new sellers get in and experienced sellers get into BQool, how do you recommend that they get their minds wrapped around all of the different options that are available? Because it's a great thing. You've got all these different levers to pull in your business, and you've got the ability to control those things. And so I love that. And it can be overwhelming sometimes for sellers. So how do you recommend that people get their minds wrapped around it and make sure that they get the right settings set up in their account?
Let me just share my screen just to show people what that looks like. The first step, you would just put your min and max prices. You could definitely use the profit calculator just to calculate your prices here, the ROI that you want, estimated profit. So once the repricer connects to your Amazon store, and then you can pick the AI equalizer rule right here. And then you can just start running your repricing. And if you have a lot of different repricing, then you can definitely use the bulk actions here to set up. So what you want to do is you want to get your cost in, and then you can use your min. You can set your min and your max minimum prices, your maximum prices, and pick the rule. And then you have some favorite filters that you have here, right? And then so if you could have some favorite filters, products that are in the listing health, there's a lot of different filters that we have. Then you would look at the products that you need to pay attention to. For example, maybe the buy box percentage is very low. Maybe there's 10 offers or below. And then you look at the ones that competitor below your min prices. So then you would check some of these filters to see whether you need to make any adjustments to your repricing after you have it running for a little bit. And then that would be the quickest way to get set up. Now, if you're a larger seller, then definitely, you would definitely use the bulk actions. And then there's also, we have like, the file, like you could upload your file to, if you're changing your prices from time to time. And then you could also use many of these filters to help you. And then also you can see these different categories here just quickly. Like if you're saying that the historic days supply, is lower than 28, then you might need to deal with those products as well. And then You can also see the offer count in here as well. The different competitors that are in there.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. So, with the new AI starter plan that you have, that's $25 per month, right? For people that are trying to get started in there. There's a lot of options, but ultimately you do give them a subset of the AI rules. And so there's really, it kind of focuses those sellers to pick from those plans. And if the AI equalizer is kind of the default for newer sellers that are just trying to get into repricing, that's a great thing to start with. And so I appreciate you showing us, kind of some of those things on your screen there. there. Are there any other new features that we haven't addressed inside of BQool that I want to make sure we get to on this video? I know we only have a few minutes left, but are there any other new features that that we want to make sure to address on this?
Yeah, for sure. Like some of the new features that we have some new columns that I just showed earlier. And there's also some new filters that are available. And then specifically, we also have like the historic days of supply condition. So, this is designed for, let's say, for people who have low inventory fees. Yeah. So some of the larger sellers, Amazon has some new rules where they're going to charge low inventory fee if you have under 28 days of supply. And then so for conditional repricing, we're able to have those options here. Just right here, I could add a new rule here. And then under here, in our new conditional repricing, there is the historic days of supply that you can use here. And then this will help determine, if there's low inventory fees or not. And then you can reprice in a way. And we're making a video to tell people how to use this as well. Basically, like if it's under 28 days, and for the units sold, if you have sold, over 20 units, and you have less than 28 days of supply, historic days of supply, then you may get charged these low inventory fees. And then we teach you, what you should do with that in that case. Yeah, whether you want to slow down your sales, whether you want to, get rid of those products. That's one of the places, one of the new features that we have. We also have other conditions that I showed you earlier that they're new as well for some of these new conditions as well. And then there's a lot of new ones such as the low inventory. You have like the inbound quantity, like that's also new. There's also if a listing is newly created, like what happens when it goes there, and also suppressed buy box. So those are just some of the new features that we have. Just right inside your managed listing here, you can see, the products, how many is inbound, how many is available, other information, which can help you make more intelligent repricing decisions. You can also see the offer count as well for these products. You can actually see that in there. And also the inventory age right there. So they're all available here. In the settings here, we have a bunch of new categories that you can actually select. Depending on what's important for you as a seller. Yeah, and then in the filters here on the side here, we also have new filters. Like for example, listings that are outside the top 20. Yeah, so there's a lot of new features. We actually have a video that tells you all about what are some of these new filters and new categories that you could use. But the most useful ones definitely is the historic days of supply, and then the new filters and also those new categories that are available for people. Yeah, to quickly identify listings that they need to work on.
Great. Yeah, that's awesome. So, that's one of the things with repricing software in general, right? So there's so many different software programs out there. For any person watching this YouTube video, usually I'm of the opinion that, hey, there's so many repricers. Not every repricer is going to be exactly for every seller, right? And so we need to figure out who these repricers are for and what in other software programs as well. Now, I'm curious, what, in your opinion, then, Samuel, are some of the things that make BQool different from other repricing software out there, right? In my opinion, it appears to me that BQool is the most customizable software out of any of the other repricers out there. But what are, in your opinion, what are some of the other things that differentiate BQool from other repricing software programs?
For BQool, I think what differentiates us, we have different AI rules. And then so even though it's like we can customize it like into the nitty gritty, like using rule-based rules, because we've been, out there for quite some time, but we also have these AI rules that people can just use and they could use right out of the box. And then they could just pick, let's say, the AI equalizer and just use that. So that is the difference. We have more AI rules, but you could also just pick which ones. We also have like a lot of different filters that people could use. So it's feature rich. Also, there's a profit calculator as well as competitor analysis as well. And I believe at this time, we're the only ones that have SellerAmp integration. So you could easily, get all your costs, set your min and max right on the go, have access to that as well. And we don't have a sales cap. Yeah, so for our repricer, whether you have 10,000 sales, whether you have 20,000 per month, you'll be paying the same fee. So we don't increase your rent for that. Basically, we believe that we're a feature-rich AI repricer, and then it's reachable for everybody. Yeah, so whether you're on the $25 plan, or we have people who are on our higher tier plans as well that do over $100 million in US per year. So it's a big range. Yeah, and then for the starter plan that we have, those are for newer sellers. But then if you want to be more customizable, you want to have more options, then if let's say you're doing wholesale, then we also have our conditional repricing, which can set a lot of different automations. Yeah, so that's how we set ourselves apart. Yeah, we have options for newer sellers. We also have options for medium and larger sellers.
Excellent. Yeah. So in looking at the plans and everything that you all have, you've got a few different options depending on what people want access to, right? It's kind of a customizable pricing plan almost. I know that you have set pricing, you can't actually customize, but it's at $25. If you're brand new, just getting started with a repricer, and specifically the way that BQool has it set up with the AI equalizer and some of these other options, that will help you get more sales right away. If you don't have a repricer and you're selling things on Amazon, get a repricer and check out BQool's option because of the pricing there and the features that you get access to. But if you're also looking to have more customization and do the conditional repricing, like I would personally recommend, if somebody's using BQool, take advantage of the conditional repricing and all of those options there, then that would, I think, be about $9,900 per month plan. But that is going to more than make up for the time that you're going to spend trying to do this yourself, and the lost sales that you would have if you weren't using this. So ultimately, I recommend people to check out BQool as one of the repricing options that are out there if you are interested in all the customization, or if you're brand new and trying to get into it. Now, I do have an affiliate link. People don't have to use it if you don't want to. You get an extended free trial. That link is at askjimmysmith.com/BQool, which is BQool. You've probably seen it pop up in this video and at the beginning and end of the video here. But ultimately, if people are interested in checking it out, go to that link. It'll be in the description as well. And I'm excited to see people's results as they utilize BQool. But Samuel, thanks so much for being on the channel today. Is there anything else that you want to leave people with, or you feel like we've covered everything that we should?
Yeah, I just want everyone, if you could go on the free trial, use Jimmy's link. He has extended free trial that's give you 30 days free. That's like $100 value. You can try it out. And then we also have a lot of different support options as well. We have live chat to help you. And then we also can onboard you. So, you can actually request a call, and then we can, bring you step by step to set it up. You're coming from another repricer as well. And then we have a lot of different support articles on our website, as well as a lot of YouTube videos that teaches you all the different options that you can do based on the pain point that you're facing, that your business is having. Yeah. So thanks for having us today, Jimmy. I really appreciate it. Cheers.
Yeah, it's been great seeing you, Samuel. Have a good one. Hey, thank you so much for checking out this interview with Samuel from BQool on all of their new features that they've come out with recently. Now, this is as of November, December of 2024, depending on when this comes out. But ultimately, there's been a lot of cool updates. I have plenty of other repricing demos and videos on this channel, especially ones with BQool that you can go ahead and check out after this if you're interested in seeing some of the demos there. But ultimately, if you want to check out BQool and try them out in your own Amazon business, then head over to askjimmysmith.com/BQool. That's with a Q. All of the links are below and in the description. And I hope that this video helps you and blesses you. And that if you have any questions, post them in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer as many as I can. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week.